keep it cool because I've got an old phone. I think it's like a not 7 or 8-year-old phone with an old processor, and these live streams suck up the processor. And so my phone will heat up and get real hot. Anyway, we miss you. Well, you gotta practice your aim, dude. You won't miss if you practice your aim. Get good with your aim, you won't miss. Oh boy, these people just jump right out in front of you. Where have I been? I did a live stream yesterday, did a live stream this morning. Where have you been? Notifications not working? I did a live stream on my other channel yesterday, last night. I didn't do a live stream on this channel. I did a live stream on another channel that I have that's not as many people actually, and it surprised me. I guess I didn't go. Must got pulled out of the mainstream, but there was only one guy in there in an hour and a half. One guy came in the live stream, and the interesting thing about that was he never watches any live streams. He's never seen my channel before. For some reason, he was compelled to check out the live streams, even though he's seen them before and he doesn't like them. He clicked on them, and the first one that came up was mine, and I was literally talking about something that he had been considering that was really troubling and plaguing his mind regarding, God and regarding Jesus and churchianity. He knows a lot. He can see through a lot of the bullshit in churchianity. And he doesn't want to dismiss God completely because he knows there's got to be a creator. There has to be, but he also sees all the different Jesuses that are preached by the church, different churches, and, all the contradictions in what people claim the Bible says, the Bible says. And that was a pretty interesting conversation. I think it was well needed. He had a lot of questions. I thought at first he may be somebody that's being antagonistic because you get a lot of people that are just atheists and they want to argue and they want to debate and they want to try to win, and I don't enter into those win debates. I just want to share the truth and give the right answer if I have it. If I don't know the truth about something, if I don't have an answer, I'm not going to give it. I'll just say I don't know. But I had the right answer for everything he presented, and he was actually very satisfied at the end of our conversation, and I was like, cool, dude. So that was cool. There is only one God, and there is only one mediator between God and men, the man Christ Jesus, who gave himself a ransom for all to be testified in due time. The problem is modern churchianity and people that claim to be Christians aren't all preaching about the same Jesus. They're not following the words of God. They're following the Jesus of the NIV, the Jesus of the ESV, the Jesus of the NLT, the Jesus of the Methodist, the Jesus of the Baptist. They're not the same Jesus. In fact, we're even warned in Corinthians that there is a different Jesus and a different gospel that was being preached back then, and how much more so now when you've got so many flavors of people's preferences of what they want to believe rather than just reading what God said and believing what God said. Anyway, so I will not be able to catch all of these because I am driving, and I'm actually surprised at how much engagement I get in these live streams. When I started doing it, it was kind of like, oh, cool, I can just chill and have a conversation with 3, 4, 5 people or something, but now it's like it just runs. There's all kinds of conversations, all kinds of people commenting, and I can't read them all. Not while I'm driving, and even when I'm sitting still, I have a hard time scrolling through them all. And then, of course, me somewhat, I'm long-winded. So if somebody asks me a question, I'll just monologue for a minute, and then I miss like 20 questions. So, oops, sorry. That's the nature of the beast. should all be like go live together as an option where I can send a link to somebody. I might do that sometime, and that way I can have like. I did go live with somebody that sent me a link once, and I thought that was kind of cool. But nobody came into the live stream. It was just me and him, or almost nobody came into the live stream. It was just me and him for like an hour and a half. What kind of weapon you like the most? It all depends on what I need the weapon for. If I need the weapon for an animal, or if I need the weapon to defend against another man, if I need the weapon to take down a bird, or if I need the weapon to catch a fish, you know, there's all kinds of different weapons. I do love marksmanship. I shoot a bow and arrow. That's my weapon of choice for hunting deer. That's because it's a very silent weapon. And I have killed 4 deer in a matter of maybe 5 minutes. If you're gun hunting, after you shoot that first shot, there's no deer are going to be coming around you, so it's not exactly conducive to kill 4 animals. You know, 4 big game. But yeah, I like to bow. I like to bow hunt. I'm a meat eater though. I don't hunt after the big game. That's not my thing. I mean the big trophies. I used to. I've killed like 5 record book bucks, Pope and Young bucks, but I don't like the meat. I don't like the taste of the meat. I don't like the work that it takes. It takes a lot more work, a lot more time invested, a lot more money invested, and then you have to drag out a 225-pound deer out of the woods. It's no fun. You know, it's no fun. Anyway, come to Finland. No, I don't think I'll be going to Finland until after Christ returns. Hello, Mr. Hesenberg. Oh, that reminds me, I didn't look up to see who this Walter White guy is. People keep saying I look like Walter White. I should have looked that up when I wasn't on live, because I can't go look it up on live stream. Unknown. We'll be in touch under duress. The unknown admires your knowledge. The unknown. I think I've seen you here before. Maybe. I don't know. It's unknown. It's unknown whether or not you have been known or unknown. Yo, what's going on, Daniel? I'll show you what I'm dealing with. So, give you a little bit of my driving. 54 miles an hour in a 55, and everybody's passing. I like that because if you can see, maybe you can see they're all driving together in a pack. That's what I call it, the pack. I stay the fuck away from the pack. They come up on me and they fly by me, but the pack is where you're going to get into accidents. You know, where there will be multi-car collisions. The pack is a dangerous place to hang out at when you're driving. I actually wrote a song called "I'm a Speed Limit Driver." The name of the song is "Speed Limit Driver." When I'm driving, I come to a bend in the road. I see a yellow sign. It means slow. I let off the gas. Sometimes I hit my brake. Don't want to make a fatal mistake. I'm a speed limit driver. I see construction and I do 45. It ain't worth the speed if you take somebody's life. When in a school zone, I step on my brake. Somebody's child's life may be at stake. I'm a speed limit driver. That's another one. When the light turns yellow, I stop if I can. God's calling me to be a law-abiding man. I don't get it. Why are people riding me? I drive as fast as I can, legally. Oh. And then the last verse is, I'm not the only one that does 10 in a 10. everyone behind me, and they're waving their hands. They're telling me I'm number one in their eyes. Here's words of wisdom, 55 saves lives. Because I'm a speed limit driver. Yeah, I got a kind of a short day today. Give kiss. Oh, I don't think I set the chat filter, did I? Nope, now it's set. All messages. For some reason, many of you have heard me already say this, I don't know that a lot of people know this, is that YouTube censors comments, actively censors comments from chats. There are times when I'll put a comment in a chat and then in a live stream, and I'll flip to a different live stream and come back and the comment's gone. And then but I know I'm not hidden because my other comments are there. You know, and so it's like YouTube, they're like, yeah, we don't really, the algorithm is saying, yeah, we don't really want this guy's information out there. We don't want what he says to be heard, and so they censor you. And something else too, if it's just a regular video, you go on a video and you see, you commented, and then you come back and you look and you can't find it because it's like disappeared. If you tap newest first, select newest first in the comments, then a lot of the comments that have been ghost censored will show up. But I hate censorship. I do not censor people on my live streams for any content of for the content of their speech. Whatever they say, hey, you know, let it ride, but I just don't want to put up a spam. Hi. Sorry, with all the driving, it's hard to see your name. Should make more people. Aiderman. And this is Ann Anchorman. Shouldn't be doing this while driving, man. I shouldn't be doing this while driving, man. But then you're going to put a long comment in there to give me some kind of a moral rebuke so that I got to read your long comment. Don't think. It's almost as bad as people that walk up to a video camera and say, I don't want to be recorded. Okay. And don't walk up to a camera. Sorry. Just left a bike. Let's drive safe, yeah. I can't see what people are saying. It's kind of hard to, and I am focusing more on the road. I'm coming up to a stop sign, everybody's like slowing down. Stop light, not sign. Traffic on this road is crazy. Can't wait till I get out of the city. This is still kind of, to me, it's because even though it's a south suburb of Chicago, it's still a city to me. I get out in the country and it's just quiet, peaceful, open road. I love it. It's actually, the traffic's not as bad, but it's a Monday. A lot of people won't even go to work on Monday. That's why the traffic's not as heavy on Mondays. You're crazy. I'm crazy old man, you say. And you are redox. Redox. You crazy young child. Don't be foolish, be wise. Seek wisdom. Fear God. Fear of the Lord is the beginning of all wisdom. That's another thing, like modern churchianity. They don't want you to think that you know, to fear God, like to tremble, like be afraid of Him. They say, oh no, God wants you to fear Him. It means something different. It doesn't mean fear. It means respect. Well, it means fear. Jesus said, don't fear man who can only kill the body, and after that, nothing else. But fear God, who has power to both kill the body and cast the soul into hell. Fear Him. That's to fear and tremble. That's not to respect, like, oh yeah, you're like my elder. God is not to be revered like an elder or a man. He is to be feared as God, who has power to both kill the body and cast the soul into hell. Come on, old man. You could have an accident. Okay, Redox. No such thing as... What's all the fucking religious spam? Oh, people are spamming religious stuff? I'm looking through some of the old ones because I'm stopped at a light here. Okay. There we go. There we go. Oh, somebody almost hit me. Just like, for no reason, just swung right into my lane while I was driving straight. He just, like, I don't know, being a dick. Maybe he was mad because I was going slow and stopped at a stoplight. I don't know. People get mad like that, you know. That's another thing too, you know. I'll talk about driving. I mentioned it earlier. Is I used to drive fast, and I used to drive with the pack, and you know, if it was 55, I'd be doing 70, 75, whatever, just like everybody else. And this particular area I go to, I do work in there frequently, and back when I used to drive sporadically, it would take me about an hour and 5 minutes to get there, driving fast. And then I started slowing my speed down and slowing my driving down, driving a lot slower to the speed limit. And then it's a lot safer driving. You have a lot more reaction time. And I guess how long it would take me to get to the same place driving slower. Give us your other channel. Myra, it is Scott W. That's my other channel, Scott W. It would take an hour and 5 minutes. It took the exact same amount of time to get there driving slow, the speed limit, as it would driving fast. And the reason is because right here, this is the reason. Stoplights. No matter how fast you're driving, you're going to run into stoplights. So the only thing that you get by driving fast is horrible gas mileage, hard on the engine, wear and tear on the engine, like 10 times as much because of the wear and tear on the brakes, possible tickets, and a greater likelihood of accidents. And it wears down your tires. What else? And you get a lot more stress. You know, so there's like, but when you drive slower, it's a lot less stressful because you don't have to be on edge to try to squeeze and go ahead and move around people and honking and get out of my way, blah blah blah. You don't have any of that because now you're the one that everybody's trying to get around, and it's an easy, peaceful drive. And it's the same amount of time. The only time speeding is ever going to gain you any ground is when you're doing more than speeding. You have to be blowing pink lights, and you have to be on a long distance of highway where there's no traffic lights. Because if there's traffic lights, you don't gain any time. None, zero. Hope you can reach your destination safe, old man. Yeah, me too. I kind of like that, old man. It's a fitting label. Trump is not dumb. He's actually pretty smart. He's got a whole bunch of people fooled. A dumb guy couldn't fool a whole bunch of people. You got to be smart. You got to have wit. You got to have the ability to perform your lines well before the audience. You got a lot of people fooled. Kind of blows my mind. He's not Ronald. Yeah, no, all of them were actors, though. Ronald was a very effective actor. Do I have teeth? No, actually, I don't. That's kind of a really sorrowful thing in my life. I had learning nutrition, natural medicine. I was taking apple cider vinegar every morning and every night, which is very beneficial to your body. It's very good. It blows your microbiome up with all sorts of great boosters. It's got acids that your stomach acid needs. It's got all sorts of vitamins. It's really, really good for you. But the acetic acid in apple cider vinegar will erode the enamel of your teeth. I did not know this. But if you take apple cider vinegar, you need to neutralize your mouth out immediately with like baking soda, which is sodium bicarbonate, and water. So if you mix sodium bicarbonate, baking soda in with water, put some in your mouth immediately after taking it, it instantly neutralizes the acid, and then it won't erode the enamel of your teeth. I never knew that. I would brush my teeth after I took it, but that doesn't neutralize the acid. That actually works the acids into the lower parts of your gums and all that, and moves it around. Make sure that when you get it spread all over, even when you rinse it, the acid binds to that enamel as it eats away at it. Didn't know that, but it is interesting, and it's something that I didn't even consider when I was reading in the Bible. It says, as smoke is to the eyes and vinegar to the teeth, so is a fool to him that sent him. And I think it has something to do with somebody that sends a fool to go do work or go do it. It's going to come back and bite them. It's going to irritate smoke irritates the eyes, but I didn't know that vinegar destroys the teeth. And I never looked into it to see exactly what vinegar does to the teeth. I just kind of assumed that it was an irritant because smoke is an irritant to the eye, but I didn't recognize it. God was giving two different examples of two different things that a fool will do to him that sends the fool. So I ended up getting over, and that was 2017, and then my teeth began getting into severe decay. Once your enamel's gone from your teeth, there's nothing you can do to rebuild it that I was aware of, and they start to decay, and brush your teeth 5 times a day. You're not going to stop it. And then I ended up having infections, and I had to have all my teeth pulled. And then I got injured by the guys that did that. I went to Istanbul in January to have that done. And the way things are looking now, I don't know if I'll ever have teeth again, and that kind of sucks. I loved having teeth. Teeth were nice to have. Yeah, it sucks. It's probably, it's also probably I partly deserve it because I used to make fun of hillbillies. I did. I had an ongoing joke. What do you call 32 hillbillies in a room? A full set of teeth. Huh. Now I ain't even got that, so I couldn't even be part of the 32 hillbilly. I tell people I used to have a sweet tooth. Yeah, I gotta live with what I got, and I gotta move on and try to make the best of it. Try to laugh. I do like to laugh, so I try to laugh about it. But it is kind of sad to go to parties. People got all kinds of food. It's like, yeah, I appreciate it, but I pretty much have to drink my food. No way to chew it. The police. That's not a joke, Casper. Be kinder to people. Oh, I don't care. So I don't know what Casper says, Myra. What I didn't read it, but whatever. Let people say what they're going to say. Please don't censor somebody for the content of their speech. I'm cool. I'm cool with it. It doesn't bother me when people insult me or try to make fun of me. I make fun of myself. Shit. I was telling a friend of mine earlier, a buddy of mine, okay, so a buddy of mine got his hand wrapped around a high power 7800 watt or watt or volt power line that was down on the ground. He didn't know what he was getting into. And he was knocked out, actually brain dead. He had no heart function, no respiratory. That was a miracle that the Lord brought him up through the middle of the night from his deathbed. But the surgeon ended up wanting to cut his hand off. Cut his arm off from about here on his forearm. And I stayed with him for the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days maybe that I had. It might have been longer. I think it was almost that whole week when they were trying to decide what they were going to do. But anyway, I had to get back up to work for a couple of days, and then I went back to visit him again at the hospital. And on my way there, his wife told me that he wasn't doing very well. He had his arm amputated, and he was grumpy, and he was angry, and he was just like all kinds of just grumping at everybody. And that's not his character ever, but he was just totally grumpy. And so on the way there, I had all these one-liners that kept running into my head. So I just, and he's a buddy of mine. So when I walked in there, his arm's been cut off, right? So I walk into the hospital room, and there he is with this, all the bandage wrapping and the arms, his hand's gone. And I said, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hand. Oh, I said, you used to be handier than you are now. I said, but when you get out of here, I'll take you to the secondhand store. Just a bunch of one-liners just started coming to me. So I wrote them down, and I rehearsed them for when I got there. And this guy looked at me because he was grumpy, he was angry, he was frustrated, he was just pissed off, he lost his hand, and here I come into the room and I'm cracking jokes at him. I'm literally laughing at him about him not having a hand. And he goes like this, he goes, and it broke his whole mood. This guy started laughing so hard. It was the best laugh that he had had since the accident. And it completely broke the whole mood. His wife couldn't believe that I was saying these things either. But him and I have been friends for like 20 years. So it's like, yeah, I mean, we're not just like, acquaintances. We're best friends. And you can get away with that shit if it's your best friend. Guy, yeah. Brother, listen. I don't know what you want me to listen to. Brother, listen doesn't tell me nothing. That's good. Humor is the best therapy. It is. It is. And so, I don't know what you said, Casper, that Myra, she seems to get offended. I think I remember we had this the other day, but just don't delete anybody for the content. Myra, I'm okay with people, but I kind of do want to know what Casper said now, because it's, you said something back to him. It's easier for me to see somebody's words if they're in blue. Everything. give us the other channel name you have? I already did. It's Scott W. Where are you going, Old Grove? I'm headed toward my hacienda. My house. Red light. Tail lights. So what was a very funny one? Oh, I want to see what he said. Now I gotta look for Casper's joke, because if it was a funny joke, I want to hear it. What did Casper say? Oh shoot. Yeah. Be nice, everyone. No, don't. You ain't got to be nice, everyone. Just be yourself, everyone. That's what I'd rather people do. Be themselves. Ronald. I don't know. I don't see Casper's thing in here. Now I want to know, hey Casper, what did you say? What was the joke? Tell me. I gotta try to get back down here. Man, I don't know why it's not doing it. There we go. Sorry, I was trying to scroll through and read. Now I can read. And Myra says, read my comment. Well, hold on a minute. Myra says, read my... I don't delete no one. He was saying sorry. It was a joke. I said to him, that's not a joke. I didn't censor. Yeah, no, I'm glad, Myra. I'm glad. I'm just saying don't. I'm just reminding you. I want people not... If people are kind, or if they're not kind, I don't care. Let them be themselves. Okay. Cigs suck. It all depends on what you're smoking there, Benito. Brother, every working American is under great stress, and I'll tell you one thing, it's a lot more stressful when I wasn't working. Interesting, I bet. Yes, I'm in Indiana. Good observation. MT1. Is that, you're not just, is that describing your, it's not describing your head, empty. You're not empty. Because you're able to read that it's an Indiana plate. Howard County Observer sent me. Oh, hi, Nunya. I keep trying to hook you guys up. I was telling them the other day that you're kind of like, you know, I think you got the hots for them. And that's one of the cool things about making people mods is you can see other people's channels when they comment on the chat. And then if you got the hots for Howard County, you can click on his name and check out his channel. Right? Right? Alright, yeah, that's good. It's Eli. What's going on, Eli? You're back. Hey, you've been in here before. I'm gonna make you a mod too. Just don't delete somebody for the content of their speech, Eli. Just only keep an eye out for spam. But I give people the wrench. The number one reason I started giving wrenches was so that people could use the feature to be able to see other people in the chat. And then if they want to go to their channel and network with them, or subscribe to their channel, they can do that. It's a feature that I think you should be able to have every chat, but they don't. They block it from anyone. If you're coming in here and you don't have a wrench, you see the name, and like say you see someone you're interested in communicating with or networking with outside of the live stream. So you click on their name, it doesn't give you nothing other than like report or block or some shit. But so if you back out of the live stream and you type in their name in the search and you search query, YouTube doesn't give you who they are. It doesn't let you know. You can even do filter by the channel, and 9 out of 10 people, YouTube won't even give you the give you their channel results when you search for them. It's bullshit. And so that's the number one reason I give the wrench. The number two reason is so that you can kind of keep on the spam. It's not really bad right now. It wasn't bad earlier when I was in, but sometimes the spam gets crazy, and if I'm driving or if I'm even trying to read the comments and I can't, or if I'm talking and I can't read and I don't see, you guys have the option. And if somebody just spam, just hide them. Just hide them from the channel. Don't give them a timeout. Hide them. I was timing them out, but people that are doing that, they come back. If you time them out, they come back, and all they're doing is causing disruption in the conversation. I don't care if somebody says, calls me a toothless old bald guy. Okay, whatever. You say what you want to say. If that's how you are, then we'll read your words and we'll know what's in your heart and what kind of person you are. And if there's another asshole on the stream that wants to connect with you, then they can connect with you. And you can have a conversation on my live chat about talking about insult me if that's what you want to do. I'm okay with that. If you want to insult my mods, I'm okay with that. If they're not okay with it, then they need to back out, because I'm kind of leaving it as an open free speech forum kind of thing, So if you're a snowflake, then you probably shouldn't be a moderator. I'm just saying. I'm not calling you a snowflake, Myra. I said if. I'm going to give you shit, for sure. Anyway, Indiana, yep, that's where I'm at. Myra is gay. I don't know. Sometimes she's happy. Sometimes she's not happy. The gay means happy. Sodomites, they're not happy. I mean, why would you be happy? If you're like trapped in a lustful desire for poo-poo. Poop is bad. There's nothing to be happy about that. It doesn't make you happy. She's 3'8" lesbian. Oh, hello, how are you today? I'm living the dream, ditto. 3'8" lesbian. Well, I don't know if that's true. Myra, are you a 3'8" lesbian? Are you offended that somebody would say that? PG. Happiness comes and goes, but personal peace endures millennium. Yeah. Where is your boyfriend? When are you going to start streaming with him again? Okay, PG. Where's that? It's good to see somebody on YouTube that doesn't want to censor or control viewers. That Jesus said, do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. And that's one of the things that bothers me is, I'm a guy that I love to joke. I love to laugh. I love to entertain. I love truth above all things. Truth is like a chief thing in my life that I love, and I hate lies. In having love for the truth, I hate lies. And so when I see somebody, especially when they got a channel where they're talking about God and they're talking about Jesus and they're promoting lies, and I'll type the corrections from the scriptures, and this happens to me all the time. I will just type the scriptures into the chat, and when they see the scripture comes against what they're teaching, they censor me and delete me from their channel, so I can't have any words on their channel anymore. And it's like, well, that ain't cool. I don't want people to do that to me, right? So I don't want to do that to somebody else. And there again, I mean, sometimes I'm kind of an asshole. I'm not, I am. Like I was on this one channel earlier where this lady was saying that God called her to be a preacher in a church. I said, this bitch is lying to everybody. I think I used the word peach because you got to watch the words for YouTube censorship. Yeah, this bitch is lying. And God didn't call her to do that. And here's the scriptures to prove it. God ain't going to do something, tell you to do something. It's an exact opposite of his direct command. God says, let the women in the churches be silent. It's a shame for a woman to speak in the church. If she will learn anything, let her ask her husband at home. If any man thinketh himself to be a prophet or spiritual, let him acknowledge that the things that I write are the commandments of the Lord. And I said, this bitch is in rebellion against the commandment of God. She's trying to say it's God doing it. Of course, the scriptures I posted and then the words I posted were just gone. So, like I said, my point was, sometimes I'm an asshole too. I'm not exactly a fucking, candy coating, dance with tiptoeing around tulips type person. But in all of my ways, whether I'm nice or I'm an asshole, I am kind. And there's a difference. Niceness and kindness are not the same thing. Don't worry, grandfather. I'm not a grandfather. And I'm glad I'm not a grandfather. I'm old enough to be a grandpa, but I'm not a grandpa. Good morning. I don't know where you're coming from there, but it is 5 o'clock, 5:09 p.m. here. You mean sometimes you are? No, I am a man. I am not a human. There's another thing too. The word human is actually a humanistic, anti-God kind of a philosophy, humanism. And the word human is actually a classification for a fictional creature or fictional being that is supposedly evolved Homo sapien. But no, I'm a man. Yeah, I use the word man. But I just don't subscribe to the word human because it's actually a gender neutral term. And God made man in his own image, and he made woman, which means of man. That's something feminists don't like, is the very name woman means of man. How old are you? I am 54 years old. You became like in your butt? No? Became a what? That doesn't make any sense. You rock, and I am so very grateful to have stumbled upon your channel. Cool, I'm glad you like it. This is very refreshing conversation. Thank you for that, Chillin'. I just had somebody email me, and I was talking with them back and forth. And I said, I honestly don't know why all of a sudden my channel in the last couple of weeks has gained quite a bit of popularity, because I'm not exactly a well-beloved person, because I speak truths that a lot of people don't like, and I don't dance around tulips. And he says the thing that he thinks that people like is that I am a genuine man. I'm not trying to present an influencer kind of a character, that he can tell that I actually do care about people. And he said, you're real, you keep it real. And he said, you've got a lot of knowledge that you're sharing with people, and you're sharing it in a very candid way, and you're being yourself. You're not like, being some kind of a character about it. And he said, and that's what he says, there's a lot of people are hungering for genuine truth. What's this? Good afternoon, under duress. Huntington Township Watch. Hey, Huntington Township Watch. I haven't seen you in a few. Yeah, but I was surprised. My channel has kind of increased quite a bit just these last couple of weeks. And I was just explaining, you may have heard, what one guy sent me an email telling me. And then Chillin here said that he appreciates a good conversation. Tell us your definition of happiness. So I would defer to the dictionary definition of happiness. No, happiness would be, I don't know, I guess it's synonymous with joy. I've heard that happiness and joy don't mean the same, but I think they're synonymous with each other. It's just pleasantness. Yeah, that's that. Just yeah. To define happiness would be to have an amount of yeah, joy, or I know that's why it's like synonymous. But to really have like I've heard that happiness is more based upon the circumstantial pleasure or joy, but I don't know that that's really the true definition. I would have to defer to probably Oxford or Webster's dictionary. Yeah, I mean, thanks. I don't really, I'm not really sure what to make of it. I'm not exactly, I have a perfect face for radio. Oh, what's that? That's a cool name you got there. Sunny. Bro is on the phone and driving. Yes, I am. I literally have my phone on my dashboard right in front of my face. Did you know that you actually have to turn your head and your eyes away from the road to read a road sign? Did you know that they've actually made it legal to have a phone on your dashboard so that you don't have to have it in your hands? It's called hands-free. But I do think it's interesting. So I'm not dumb. I'm only semi-retarded. But one of the things that I've learned is that, like, when there's traffic and vehicles around, I'm gonna focus a lot more on the road and on my mirrors and around me, and not be reading the chats, and so I miss all kinds of chats. But when the road is open and there's not cars next to me or coming up behind me, and I'm going slow, that's another thing, I don't drive super fast, then I can read more chats than I can when I'm in traffic. And right now, just so you guys see, some of you have been here, now I just left the last of the city, so now it's all country roads from here. There's nothing behind me, and there's those cars in front of me are going. I'll see them at the stoplight, though. I guarantee I'll see them at the stoplight. Because the speed limit's 60, I'm doing 55, they're doing about 75. They'll probably be stopped at the stoplight, and I'll probably pass them or come up to them when they get the green light. And I got better gas mileage and less wear and tear on my tires and on my brakes and on my engine and on my transmission. It's just so much easier. Howard County Observer. Oh, welcome back, Howard County. Wait, who? Oh, we had a spammer in there, huh? Wow. Bro can kill. Reading. Bro, you can kill some. The more you know, kid. Take care of yourself, please. I do. Anyway, what's this? Howard County, okay. Here's the Walter White. So, yeah, stylo. There's been at least, I don't know how many different people have said it, but there's been a lot of people that have said I look like some guy named Walter White. I don't know who he is, but somebody said he's like somebody from a movie maybe that's called Breaking Bad. I don't watch movies. I don't turn on my radio. I don't own a TV. I don't consume industrial entertainment. I have a lot of reasons for that. But I find it to be one of the forms by which society is being engineered and manipulated. And a lot of people think it's harmless. It's not. It actually enters into. I watched so many documentaries on it and learned so much about it, but they capitalize on frequencies that are being used at different synthetic scales and whatnot with the music and with the lights and the flashes, and the amount of frames per second actually have been found to be able to bypass a person's critical thinking walls and enter into their heart and implant suggestions. And so I don't want any of that. I prefer to escape the deceptions of this world, and I don't consume any industrial entertainment for that reason. You know, I'd say over the last 15 years, there may have been 3 or 4 different programs that have caught my attention and kind of got their hook in me. One of them was Karate Kid, whatever they call that next one, Cobra Kai, because I was an 80s kid, and Karate Kid was like one of my favorite movies. And then they did the Cobra Kai thing, and I was like, it got a hook in me. I got that out though. I was like, fuck. I was disgusted with myself for even sucking it in. And then because it's pushing Hinduism and Buddhism and all sorts of crap, it's not good. And also other New Age philosophy. There's a lot of stuff they put into those, and it's all Satanism really. And music. There was a song, I think the last song that I allowed myself to be entertained with was a song by what's his name? He was a folk writer. It was Rocky Mountain High. What John Denver. Listening to that song, the words grabbed a hold of my heart and actually started tugging at the strings of my heart. This is after I'd already stopped listening to any industrial music, and then I got to wondering, I wonder if he was a man of God. The way that it touched my heart made me feel like maybe he was like talking about me and my situation at that moment in time when what I was going through. And it was a time of sorrow, and I was susceptible to my heart was susceptible to being manipulated, because sorrow is a very hard thing to go through emotionally. And the song really did kind of spark a little bit of like, it resonated with me in a way. And so I decided to look it up, and he was a Satanist. And those were spirits that were trying to manipulate my heart as much as possible, and so I just quit. Welcome in. Stylo. Using social media and brain rot content for neuroprogramming. Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's actually social media. YouTube's got it too. There's programming inside of the YouTube. In fact, Huntington Township Watch saw what I was doing with a little bit of a social experiment to find out what the purposes were behind the different features that they instituted. Like, somebody hearts your comment. well, those kinds of things, they create a little bit of an affection and a dopamine injection into the brain, and it keeps people addicted. Maybe not, people may not think that they're becoming addicted to it, but they are. And of course, with the control of information, that's a whole another ballgame all in and of itself. They keep them addicted to the information feed machine so that they can feed the information. And one of the most important things in the technocracy that's been designed and created is control people's minds, and they can't control a person's free will, but they can control the information that the person has access to, thereby limiting the amount of decisions a person can make in their life, because a person will only make a decision using their free will based upon the knowledge that's available to them. And that's why in 2015, censorship, I call that the year of the great censorship. It started October 1st, 2015. All the big tech platforms were announcing that they're changing their search queries to no longer provide the most popular results, but to provide the most truthful results. As soon as I said that, I said, oh, they're going to start censoring the truth and present bullshit and tell people that they're the arbiters of truth. And that's exactly what's gone. Did Howard County just do that? Cool. Yeah, so Huntington Township Watch actually does transparency that they love in Huntington Township. those cameras are a permanent fixture there now. Cameras and microphones. For the crooks and the good old boys gang of thugs that are kind of like for years have been in control and power over everything, and now they got a watchdog like Huntington Township Watch coming in to hold their feet to the fire and make sure that they do things by the law instead of continually committing crimes. And they're still committing crimes, but now they're really, really angry that their crimes are being exposed and published. And it's like, well, that's part of what free press is, you know. It's like she moved in and upset the apple cart, you know. And hey, if it's making a difference, kudos. If it makes a difference here, if I did that shit in my county, I'd probably get buried. I would probably get buried where I'm at. You know, I mean, but it all depends on how much exposure you're getting, how much publicity you're getting, and that's really an important thing, which is one of the reasons I'm subscribed to your channel and I watch your stuff, is because, you know, I know that retaliation is a thing, and some of the people in the positions of power are members of societies that have no problem extinguishing people that are giving them grief or in any way threatening their positions of power. We need to go back to sovereign state nations. Yeah, the Civil War was the end of the sovereignty of the states. The states were basically had power over the federal government, but after the Civil War, the dollar was there was a central dollar made. They basically made all the states' currencies worthless, centralized the currency of the whole United States, created a federal power over the state, and then eventually Woodrow Wilson called an emergency session of Congress on Christmas Eve, 1913, to have all the Judases, the crooks that received the money, the political prostitutes that stayed in Washington while most of the other more virtuous and noble senators went to go celebrate the pagan holiday with their families. and then they voted for the Federal Reserve Act, which handed over the authority of the currency of the United States into the hands of a private bank, which was put together by a bunch of banking interests like the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, and the Morgans. But yeah, and so from that point on, they began to build federal authority through federal agencies that are unconstitutional, and there's a whole history behind the takeover of the United States that is very not very well known, because they didn't teach us that in government controlled indoctrinational facilities. Oh, I mean public schools. I hope you are doing well, Marie. Yes, I'm doing okay. Where in the world is Obama been hiding? Osama been hiding? Yeah, he died years before they claimed they killed him. He was on kidney dialysis in the 1980s. I'm sorry, the 1990s. And with the technology that they had with dialysis back then, the most anyone would ever live on kidney dialysis back then, with the top of the line machines, was like 8 years. And we're expected to believe that he was bumping around from cave to cave in Afghanistan and Pakistan and eluding the most comprehensive surveillance network ever in the history of the world for like all those years. And then all of a sudden, like, he somehow had all of the top of the line state-of-the-art dialysis machines with the very best doctors and all of the access to all the top drugs to be able to make it through dialysis for like 16 years. Bullshit. Bullshit. Yeah, and then the SEAL Team 6 members all ended up dead after they supposedly raided the compound and dumped his body before they even announced it to the world. So there's like no proof of what they claim. But they gave CGI. They gave everybody a computer-generated video game image of how SEAL Team 6 did it. Bullshit! Ugh. Wow, what's this? Are you serious? That team all died? Yeah, all the members were one by one taken out by the real Black Ops guys. Not by the special forces, but by the Black Operations forces. I've met a couple of people in my life that did Black Ops, and one of them, they were both fully brainwashed. You cannot graduate through Black Operations training without being completely brainwashed. You have to be brain raped to believe the things that they tell you. But one of them actually found mercy, cried out to God. He became born again. He began to become unbrainwashed. He began to realize, because they were sending him, he told me some things that, and I won't ever mention his name, but they were sending him into nations that we're supposed to be enemies with. They're supposed to be our enemies. We're not supposed to be doing trade with these nations. They were sending him into those nations with some of the most sophisticated military weaponry that the United States has. And he was responsible for training our enemies how to use the most sophisticated weaponry that the United States military has access to. And one of the things that I told him that he 100% confirmed is, I said, I had a dream in 2015 that this country, the United States of America, is going to be invaded by Iran, Russia, China, Korea, there were some African nations, and there were some South American nations that were all going to do a joint assault against the United States, and it's going to bring this country down. And he said, yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. And so he gave me a bunch of combat stuff, and I told him, I said, dude, I'm not gonna enter into combat with these people. That's not my goal. I said my goal. I was buying a lot of stuff from him, is what it was, and I said my goal is to be able to have survival things that I can provide for others that are going to not. They're going to be caught with their pants down. They're not going to have the things they're going to need to survive during the upcoming trouble that is going to happen. Don't know when it's going to happen. Just know it's going to happen. And it wouldn't surprise me if the United States government sends our troops overseas to basically open up the door for and make this country vulnerable for such an assault. But make no mistake about it, all sides of the wars that we are in, that the conflicts that we see in the world today, all of the sides are controlled by the same people. They are all the leaders, the kings of the earth that have central banking are all working, following a script. They all eat at the same table. The kings aren't fighting against each other. What they're doing is they're bringing about, and the Bible speaks in Revelation 13 of two major dominions and powers in the last days. And there's going to be some kind of a major destruction that's going to cause the world to fear, and the people are going to in the wake of this major destruction, the people are going to be made to submit to one of three forms of identification security in order for you to buy or sell. You're not going to be able to buy or sell unless you have either a mark in your right hand or in your forehead, a mark, or the name of this beast or the number of his name. And the beast is the final dominion. Oh, I hope I think I moved my stuff. I'm home. Thanks for joining me. How long did it take me to get here? An hour and 10 minutes. A little more traffic today. It took me an hour and 10 minutes to get here. It usually takes me an hour and 5 minutes, but on the way home, yeah, that's about right. So now I'm just going to take a minute out, roll my windows down, catch some of this nice cool air. We haven't been getting the super hot days here. And let's see what I got. Now I can read a little more. Government actors don't want you to have freedom, Benito. They want it all for themselves. Yes, all of us are going to be enslaved. U.S. versus China, new ID. Yeah. Please be safe. Howard County Observer, are you heading out? That was a long drive. Yeah, my commute is long. That's one of the downsides of living in the country where I live is the work for my business is up north, so I do have to drive, but that's one of the longer drives. Usually I'm working about 40 to 50 minutes away. Aggressive may have been a better word to use if I were them. That's what they call it anyway. I don't consider myself as such, however. Going on for 38 years. Huh. I want freedom, not taxation for everything. Yeah, all right. What's going on, Yo-Yo? I don't know if you're still in here. I'm just reading through some of the comments that I missed. Oh, Howard County. Um, what are the have things gotten worse than what you had told me the other day? Yep. Means your recording may have changed the cops. Now I got to see what he's talking about. I've been getting a bit more advantageous with cops. You may not like it. Oh, aggressive. Why would they dump that? Oh, in the ocean, yeah. Right, Eli, if you're is directed to me, I record township meetings and meant Obama. Where in the world is okay? So that I'm caught up. I think I got meat to burn on an open flame soon. Oh, okay. Nunya and Howard County. I think they're hooking up tonight. Oh boy. Don't burn your meat on an open flame, dude. Don't burn it on an open flame. Not a good idea. Sup, Bob? Well, I pissed off a bunch of people a few nights ago about I guess I had a bunch of Trump supporters in here, and I said a few things about Donald Trump, and man, oh man, did they get angry. I'm like, are you kidding me, dudes? Like, you can't see through them? Okay. And I guess I can get it. I was today is like, um, before I understood and researched and found out how the political arena is controlled and how they capture people's hearts with emotions and not really uh, they don't really discuss the most important topics and subjects that would actually make change to bring freedom and reduce taxes. But they kind of have these narratives and these topics that they get people fighting over, and they're heavily invested into those things. And so when you're emotionally invested, you're blinded. But once you know how things work and you're able to set your emotions aside, it's almost so blatantly in your face, the deception. And to me, I'm like, how could I have been deceived by that kind of crap? How are other people deceived by it? Well, it's because they have. How many times have you heard that? Satan wants people is in 100% of all industrial entertainment. It's specifically designed to capture their audience, to capture the heart. But yeah, follow your heart. The Bible says, and it's true, the heart is above all deceitful. It hey, no one of those corn channels now. As long as the people are divided, the politicians are united. Absolutely, dude. No matter what show they put on, your internet is going out. Oh, okay. Yeah, I should probably cut out anyway because I got a bad. I got to go turn my Wi-Fi on. It'll be a bit, but I'll probably go again later. Peace.